They have finally done it, guys. Sponsorship on NuGet.org. You can now donate to your favorite creators, maybe help them pay the bills. Yeah. Consumers can give back easily. Okay. They are now at feature parity with NPM, which has had NPM fund for about 2019. Okay. 6 years it's taken NuGet to catch up with NPM fund. Now, I know what you're saying. Okay. All you do is complain. You never have any suggestions to improve things. Well, how to save .NET open source. Are you ready for this? Okay, here we go. Let's talk about what NuGet has that NPM does not. Bearing in mind that NuGet users actually have money. Okay, yeah. What NuGet has that NPM does not. All right. They have Visual Studio users logged into their corporate accounts that have cash. Okay. These companies pay big bucks for Visual Studio. $50 a month if you're on Pro, up to 500 maybe on Enterprise. It's crazy, okay? They know everything that you do. The telemetry is enabled. They know who's downloading what. They make product decisions based on this. Although they won't tell you, but they do know exactly how many users use Blazor versus MVC or whatever. They know, okay? They know. And the corp users are all on Entra, so they all have corporate accounts. Well, so what? How about this for an idea, yeah? Revenue sharing. How about you take 10% of those Visual Studio subscriptions and distribute them to the package authors that obviously register and get verified and want to get paid? Think of this as like Spotify or YouTube Premium, okay? That creates a healthy ecosystem, all right? This could be totally automatic. Totally automatic. Can you imagine the goodwill that this would create? Like, actually, people would love you for a change. And what this could look like is something like this. You have something like that on your box. Part of your Visual Studio subscription will go to supporting this creator. You can even have nice little icons there, the little green hearts. How cool would that be in your NuGet package? Yeah, like, wow, a feel-good factor would be immense. Okay, here's a second idea: license purchasing in the NuGet console. Yeah, on your Visual Studio. Okay, so they could set the conditions. They could say there's a maximum number of developers in this organization that can use this package for free. If you've got more than 5 devs, you've got to pay. That's fairly standard, but it's basically impossible, right? You have to go to the purchasing department of your company and get legal involved to get a contract signed. This is a nightmare. Why don't you link the Azure Marketplace, which is a really good and mature payment system, one-stop shop for everything you need, to NuGet, right? Which grants a license to the organization paying for it. That'd be great. You could have a line manager going to buying something and adding it to the Azure bill. Yeah, you've got the infrastructure for this. This could look like this, right? Free for up to 5 developers. Your organization has 9 developers using the solution, because you know how many people are using this, because they're all signed in to their Entra accounts. Right? That would be so cool, right? So you wouldn't need any DRM for this, because one thing that Microsoft does have is a really big, huge and scary auditing operation. All right. You don't want to cross them on your licensing. And this is why I don't like the licensing of Community Edition, because it is basically a trap. Okay. As soon as you make $1,001 of revenue, you are inviting a license audit from Microsoft into your organization, because you're outside the license if you use Community Edition of a Visual Studio product. Okay. Including DevKit. So do you notify all the developers as soon as you hire the 6th one? Yeah, who knows? Okay, and this would act like a soft paywall and actually protect companies from accidentally violating a license, unless that's really what you actually want them to do, accidentally violate the license. Now, what would be the outcome? What would be the outcome? If .NET open source was actually sustainable for the people that keep the ecosystem alive, what do you think would happen? Yeah. Well, this is what you get: a healthy .NET ecosystem full of happy people contributing packages back to the community, getting paid for it. You might even get people joining the ecosystem, becoming .NET developers, knowing that they might actually get paid and be able to feed their family doing .NET open source. Speaking of healthy ecosystem, let's talk about this guy.
It's Microsoft MVP of the Week.
Microsoft MVP of the Week is, of course, as promised, Andrew Locke. Thank you very much, Andrew. Now, the reason I nominate Andrew Locke for Microsoft MVP of the Week is that he's basically done Microsoft's job for them this week. Okay, so Remember this sorry escapade last week with a security vulnerability 9.9? The best we got from the Microsoft staff was a little comment at the top from Barry. Now, in the end of my last video, I literally begged Barry to write a blog post explaining what the heck is going on and what we can do and what the mitigations are and so on. All right. And the thumbs ups here on his response to me tells it already. But Andrew has stepped in. What a Chad, and done this blog post, understanding the worst .NET vulnerability ever, request smuggling and CVE. Okay, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. I will link it in the description. Please go and have a watch. Go and have a read even. All right. He's got sample code. He's got a description of chunky chunks. Yeah, it's beautiful. Now this should be on a Microsoft website, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, it should have been done last week. Last week, they did publish an update on App Service. Okay, so they haven't actually patched .NET 8, but they have now confirmed they have rolled out the patch to Azure Azure App Service. It's a load balancers, what they call the front ends. Okay, now this blog post is all we have to go on. Okay, and it's the same blog post that I showed on my video last week. And last week it looked like this. Now see if you can spot the difference. Okay, they have basically just retconned the blog post. Right, it says we are currently deploying a patch for HTTP load balancers. That's okay, nothing wrong with that. Okay, but when you look at the blog post as it stands at the time of making this video, what do you notice? We've got some updates. Okay, but we don't have any timestamps of when this was remediated. So if you, for your sins, have to go through your access logs to see if there's potential that you could have been a victim of this vulnerability, you have no idea when you should stop looking, because the completion of the patch is not time-stamped. Unlike the status updates on Azure and AWS, where they, to the millisecond, do a status update that you can sort of bank on, okay? There's nothing here. In fact, they've even changed the original wording. We have deployed a patch, is what it says, but this implies that it was done on October the 20th. So how are you supposed to know when you became safe? Yeah, how were you supposed to know? Well, I don't know. On that note, thank you very much for watching. I will try and do a .NET ecosystem update maybe every week. I'm doing quite well, actually. I've done like a video every week for the last 3 or 4 weeks. So, wow, it's happening, boys. It's happening. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more rants. Thank you very much.